How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a very spicy rendition of the classic Nidoqueen Double Dark, but instead, we are running Nidoking Double Dark, and the Double Dark team is going to be Double Dark Flyer as well. So, unlike the Nidoqueen Double Dark, this team is very, very bad. I would strongly not recommend it to anyone looking to climb because, first of all, as you're noticing, this team is triple weak to Ice, and Ice, the Alolan Sandslash, and the Dugong are two of the best picks right now in the current meta. So, yeah, if you're looking to climb, definitely do not build a team that's triple weak to Ice, but I did it. I had so much fun. I landed Nuke after Nuke with the Nidoking and with the Honchkrow, and you guys are not going to be disappointed. So, before this video gets super long, we're just going to get right into it. I have quite a few battles for you guys today, but yeah, you're just going to see I did include quite a few losses as well, just because even though I landed so many nukes, I still didn't manage to win all those battles. So we're going to get right into it. Sludge Wave on the Nidoking, in case you didn't notice. And first battle we have an Azumarill, and this is where you really can just tell that Nidoking here is just worse than Nidoqueen, because we're a poison type, yet this fairy type is just gonna straight up beat us in all even shielding scenarios. We really need a better charge move that's cheaper, or something like Mud Shot. So unfortunately, I do bait. I was having every single Azu shield the nuke, so I baited there. They call it, but then they let the Sludge Wave go anyway. So we're down a shield, but we do nuke the Azu, and they come in with a G-Fisk here. And Nidoking on this team is actually our steel counter, which is kind of wild considering we're a poison type. And the opponent's deciding not to use shield, so we've already gotten this thing to half health, and they let the second Sand Tomb go as well. So now this G-Fisk is very, very low, but unfortunately, they're still holding on to two shields, and Honchkrow with a shield disadvantage is basically just dead in the water. There's just nothing it can do. So we bring in the Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz on this team is just here to tank damage. It is our bulkiest mon by far, and they have an Alolan Marowak in the back. So what I decided to do here is I go for the Sky Attack on CMP to their Shadow Bone. Despite the fact that we're fully walling this thing in terms of charge moves, look at how low we are already just from Fire Spin damage. That is absolutely incredible. Incredibly bad, you could say. So I do call the Shadow Bone correctly. I throw on CMP, and again, I catch them into a CMP tie here on the next Sky Attack. And this is perfect now because they're stuck throwing their energy. They cannot farm down. And this basically just lost the game for the opponent there. If they just would have held on to their energy there and farmed me all the way down, I think they would have won. But yeah, the opponent stops attacking. They just realized they made a huge mistake, because all I had to do there now was, if they would have just fully charged that move, I could have just let my Honchkrow go down and then gotten to a move on my Mandibuzz and then farmed down the G-Fisk with the Mandibuzz. So yeah, definitely a winnable game for the opponent. We play it very well in the end game. And in the next game, we have a G-Fisk lead, and this is where we want to see it. This G-Fisk actually just goes straight for a Rock Slide, which is definitely not the play. They do definitely want to build up to the EQ, and they come in with a Pelipper, and most Nidokings are running the double ground charge moves, but we are not. We land the Sludge Wave. That does huge damage, nearly one-shotting them, and now we can just bring in the Mandibuzz to tank all of this energy and farm them all the way down. So in situations where you will see this coming up, in situations where we have a neutral lead or a lost lead, we will bring in the Mandibuzz as a safe switch, just hopefully to lure out anything that's potentially going to beat the Honchkrow in the back. Because if at all possible, the goal with this team is going to be get all shields down and then let Honchkrow nuke the back line. Because Honchkrow is just so dang glassy that even if the opponent has one shield and you have two, oftentimes they can still just fast move beat you down before you even get to 3 charge moves. That's how glassy Honchkrow is. It loses to things like fighters just because counters will literally just shred it to pieces. So we're still in 2 shielding scenario here in this battle, but they have a Scrafty in the back. And if we can get some shields, we might be able to take this. And we do get the first shield here, and I'm really hoping that the opponent does not know their Sludge Wave counts. And they don't. We have now all shields down, and this is where Honchkrow goes to town when all shields are down. So I do shield here because a foul play would probably do like 2/3 of our health. That's just how glassy Honchkrow is. And now we're going to go for the Brave Bird. You know we're going for the Brave Bird here. A Sky Attack would easily KO from here, but we're full sending it. We're not even going to charge it up all the way, and this is still more than going to one-shot this Scrafty, and that's a GG. So did get a nice win in that battle, but yeah, the team you're going to see it get destroyed here coming up pretty soon. This team, this is actually before I switched to Sludge Wave. I was running Earth Power in this battle, and the opponent had a Bastiodon lead, which is really, really nice for us, and they switched into a Cofagrigus, which, unfortunately for this opponent, is fully walled by our backline, and they're, for some reason, Psychicking, I don't know if that's a word, Psychicking, throwing the Psychic, yeah, onto our Mandibuzz, which is double resisted, so yeah, definitely do want to be going for the Shadow Balls or Dark Pulses, and yeah, they do go for the Shadow Ball here, but at this point, I'm just going to fully farm them down. I want to take as much damage on my Mandibuzz as possible and come out of here with as much energy as possible, because if I throw the second Foul Play there right away, all that does is it just lets the Bastiodon farm more health down and get more energy, and I don't want that to happen, so we do come out of here with 100 energy, so we're going to get at least 3 Foul Plays off on this Basti, it looks like, and yeah, we are going to make 3 Foul Plays. It doesn't look like we're going to make a 4th, but that's totally fine because we still basically wall this thing with the Nidoking. All they can do is hit us with Flamethrower, and Flamethrower is just not the strongest move, and the opponent has a Shadow Banette in the back, so super, super cool spice from the opponent, but as you guys are seeing, the algorithm here is hard countering the opponent with a Nidoking double Dark backline. Somehow, it's hard countering this opponent's Bastiodon double Ghost backline, so you love to see it. Here, I do not throw the move because the Honchkrow could be running Dark Pulse, and they don't know that. So by not throwing there, I force them to expend some energy, whereas my Sky Attacks and Brave Birds are going to do absolutely nothing against that Bastiodon, so that's why I don't throw there, and I still know I can tank a Flamethrower, which is exactly what I'm going to do, and that's a GG, so yeah. By the way, I don't want to start some sort of conversation about the algorithm where we have an argument about whether it exists or not, because, unpopular opinion, the existence of the algorithm really doesn't matter either way, because the fact of the GBL experience is that you will get hard countered fully in this game. It doesn't matter whether it's because of some sort of hidden algorithm that's matching you up against certain mons, or whether it's just totally the randomness of the game pairing you with opponents, because the fact of the matter is you are going to get hard countered, and what really matters is, are you good enough to come back from a hard counter? Now, sometimes when you get a hard counter, like in the case of that opponent there in the last battle, I truly don't think there was much that opponent could have done, but in some situations there are ways to play out of hard counter leads, and you just have to learn how to do that if you want to succeed in this game. So, algorithm, whether it exists or whether it does not exist, fully does not matter. So hopefully nobody gets angry at my response there, but that's just the fact of the matter. So this battle, as you guys saw, we had an Altaria lead, and they have a Bastiodon in back, and we're still in a rough spot here, despite the fact that we were able to lure out the Bastiodon with the Mandibuzz safe switch, but they've got an Azu in the back, and there's just no win con in this game. I do decide to play it out. What you're going to see is Brave Bird does so much damage to Azu. I will actually go for the Sky Attack first. I farm up to 100 energy, and my play here is going to be throw the Sky Attack. I know they're going to let the first one go. Brave Bird would not one-shot, and now I'm going to throw the next one here on the CMP tie to their next Ice Beam, and they're probably going to be expecting a Sky Attack, but Brave Bird does KO them, and now I'm able to get to a Sky Attack here on my Honchkrow versus with Altaria, and this will get their last shield, but unfortunately, again, Nidoking just really needs a better charge move. If we had Sludge Bomb there, or something cheaper other than Sand Tomb, we would have won that battle, but Sand Tomb does not do enough, and they do just barely make another charge move, and that is a GG, so yeah. Nidoking, if it had something like Sludge Bomb, or even if it had something like Drill Run, it would be very, very good, but Jellicent lead here in the next battle. Really, really bad lead for us. We bring in the Mandibuzz again as a safe switch, and the opponent's staying in for some reason, and looks like they're going to shield the foul play as well, so this tells us they must be weak in the back, but then they bring in a G-Fisk, so I was kind of confused here. They definitely should have just brought their G-Fisk in right away, but what's actually wild is that Mandibuzz very, very comfortably tanks 2 Rock Slides, and I believe in some situations, depending on IVs, it can actually tank 3 Rock Slides. So we do bring it in. They did do some Hex damage on us before bringing in this G-Fisk, so I don't think we'll be able to tank 3 Rock Slides here in this situation, but we have quite a bit of extra energy, so we are going to potentially be able to force their last shield here. As you see, that's 2 Rock Slides, and it doesn't KO. And we're now getting to our 3rd foul play. This probably would just barely not KO, but they do commit their last shield, and now we have a 2-0 shield advantage, and that is exactly what we're looking for with the Honchkrow in the back. So we're going to bring in the Nidoking here. At this point, I don't even know, do I shield? No, I actually just go for the Sand Tomb right before they make the EQ there. I don't want to give it my second shield because I want to have 2 shields for this Honchkrow, so I'm going to bring it in right away. That Jellicent's probably coming back in, and let's see what decides to come in. They do actually bring in a Knockdown here, and they're shieldless, so this is going to be a good game for this opponent. They do have some extra energy on that Jellicent, but they're not at 2 moves, and they are basically in Brave Bird range. That is just how hard Honchkrow hits. I'm going to farm up as much as I can here, because I want to leave this matchup with some energy for that Knockdown. So I farm up, and now we're going for the Brave Bird. Is this going to one-shot? Yes, it is, and at this point, I was afraid that if I go for another Brave Bird here, they might farm me down, because I think they are looking to farm down here, so I decided to just go for double Sky Attacks and play it safe. And yeah, they realized their only win con there was to farm down. I'm not sure, but I don't think a Brave Bird would have quite KO'd there if I would have just full sent it. And I didn't want them to farm me down and then double Sky Attack the Nidoking there, so good game. Medicham lead here in the next battle. Medicham is really rough for this team. Mandibuzz can do okay against it, but most of them are running Ice Punch. And here I make a crazy call that they're going to full send the Psychic. Did we catch a Psychic? Yes, we did. That is double resisted, but here is the reason why you should not run this team right here. The Shadow Alolan Sandslash comes into this Mandibuzz, and of course, this one is running Powder Snow, which is way, way worse for us because we're not resisting the fast move. So we can take one Ice Punch here pretty comfortably, but unfortunately, since they're running Powder Snow, they are going to be able to farm us down. But I think I should make one more foul play, and I do make the foul play, and they are forced to throw. I think we would have killed them with that next Snarl there, so at the very least, we forced them to expend some energy, and now I think we should be able to come in and farm down, yeah, before having to take another move, but so sorry, guys. I know I say this every single video, but yeah, we're getting wrecked here by our current environment. I'm always sniffling through these videos, I know. Unfortunately here, Medicham does come back in, and they do call our move here, but I'm really hoping that they let this Sludge Wave go. Please let it go. But of course, the opponent does commit the shield there, and now we do have a shield advantage, but Honchkrow on Ice Punch would most definitely be one-shotting us, and they're actually on Dynamic Punch, and here you guys are going to see I make a crazy, crazy play here. I recognize this is CMP, so I have to send the Brave Bird, and Brave Bird one-shots the Shadow Snorlax from nearly full health. That is absolutely insane. Even the Shadow form of Snorlax is just so bulky. That is wild that one-shots, and we do get their last shield with the Sky Attack, and now we just have to make the Sludge Wave. Again, Nidoqueen just really needs some cheaper charge moves. If I was running Earth Power here, I would have won this game because we just barely don't make the Sludge Wave, unfortunately, and we are going to lose this one as well, but I kept that one in there just because we had some crazy catches there, and regular Honchkrow one-shotting a Shadow Snorlax from nearly full health is just completely crazy. So in this game, finally, I included this game just because I was seeing the same lines over and over again, just no spice at all, but this opponent was running a Swoobat on the lead, and they switched out into a Nidoking, or a Nidoqueen here to meet our Mandibuzz, and this opponent, I think they must be single moved here because they Earth Power my Mandibuzz for some reason. Either that or they're running like Earth Power and Earthquake or something crazy, but yeah, at this point I just massively overfarm, recognizing that they're probably only running ground charge moves, and we do, I think, just straight up take it out, and the opponent comes back in with a Swoobat, which is definitely not an answer to the Mandibuzz, and they commit a shield, and at this point I think I just let it go. I don't even know what this thing has, to be honest, but yeah, just a Psychic Fangs. I was going to say, I'm just going to sack the Mandibuzz anyway, and now we have 2-0 shields, and the opponent has a Shadow Lugia in the back, so mad respect to this opponent. They're running double Psychic Flyer in an ABA style team, which is completely terrible, but you just absolutely love to see it. So unfortunately for this opponent, I am 100% going to be Brave Birding their Lugia and their Swoobat, but yeah, that's just what happens when you run Spice, guys. You get destroyed. As you guys have seen already, I think I've already lost at least 2 battles in this video, and normally I don't show you guys too many losses, but that's just the way the cookie crumbled in this video here. So next game, we have a Quagsire lead. I do try to catch the Mud Bomb. I am unsuccessful, and now Mandibuzz is going to be tanking multiple Stone Edges to the face here, which is totally fine. Mandibuzz is only here to tank moves. We really don't shield a Mandibuzz hardly ever in this video. And they do Stone Edge us, and I'm not sure if I survive one more Stone Edge, but either way, I am going to be letting this go. I might just barely live this, we'll have to see. And I do live it on 1 HP, and I get to the second foul play, which is massive, because I should be forcing a shield here from this Quagsire, and we do force the shield. And now, we're going to bring back in the Nidoking. At this point, again, my only goal is just to get their shields off of them and save both of my shields for the Honchkrow if at all possible. And I'm going to let the Mud Bomb go. I know I can barely live it, and I'm hoping that I will be able to get their last shield here. I probably, if I was the opponent, I probably would just let this go down, but maybe they're just recognizing that we're pretty weak to this Quag, and yeah, they do shield it, and now Honchkrow has the 2-0 shield advantage. We're going to come in and farm this thing down. We are going to shield up. They full send the Stone Edge. That probably KOs 2 Honchkrows, and we're going to farm them down, and they do at the last second switch out to avoid being farmed down, but they have a knockdown here. And just wait till you guys see how much this Sky Attack does. That does over half of Knockdow's health. And I'm not messing around, potentially letting them get to a move. I'm just going to get rid of this right away. Make sure I still have that last shield. And what do they have in the back? Let's see. And it's a Scrafty. And Scrafty is going to be one-shotted once again. I think... I do charge it up all the way. I was thinking about undercharging it, but I one-shot the Scrafty from full health. And that's a GG. So... Honchkrow just hits so incredibly hard. Yeah, it's just... I can't imagine the Shadow, how much the Shadow must do. With the regular Honchkrow one-shotting most things from full health, the Shadow, I don't even know. It's probably overkill, honestly, to have the Shadow. But in this battle, another Ice-type, horrible, horrible situation for me. And of course, they call the move. That was enough for the Earth Power there. So I thought they might actually shield that, considering that my moves are going to do less damage now that I'm debuffed. But... for some reason, the opponent is just a savage there, calls the Sand Tomb, and then, of course, they shield the dang Sludge Wave, so making all the wrong calls in this battle. And they're still very healthy, so we're going to just have to come in with Mandibuzz here and just use it again as a damage sponge. Just soak all this energy. They're already at the back-to-back icy wins there, and I think I probably will outpace them, so I do overfarm slightly, but this is still just looking really bad because... we did use a shield, so we're not even at a shield advantage, and we have the Honchkrow in the back, which is just does not want to see anything whatsoever if it doesn't have 2-0 shield. So Azu comes in. I already know this game is over, but I'm still going to play it out. I want to make it as close as possible. So again, you've already seen me do this against other Azus. I will throw the Sky Attack here, and they know they can live one move, so they will let this go. And then I'm going to throw on CMP to their next Ice Beam. And I'm fully expecting them to just let this go, expecting another Sky Attack. And the Brave Bird does KO them. And they do have a Jellicent in the back, so this is going to be fairly close. I do, again, throw on CMP. I don't want them to get any extra energy. So I throw the Brave Bird on CMP, and they do shield it. And I do catch them in the CMP tie. So they're not going to be able to farm me down here. They are going to dump all their energy. And unfortunately, what you're going to see is Mandibuzz is just not going to hit hard enough to KO this Jellicent. We are going to land the Foul Play. I threw that one before they get to their move, so they're now at the move. And the Foul Play does do enough damage to get them low, but not going to be KOing. And we are going to go down again. So we do nuke another Azu, but not able to get the win. Next game, we have a Registeel lead, and this is actually a very nice lead for the Nidoking. We fully wall all their charge moves, and they come in with a Whiscash here. I did try to catch a Mud Bomb, but the opponent does overfarm. Very nice play by the opponent. And now the Mandibuzz is going to be taking a Blizzard to the face. But Mandibuzz does not care about Blizzards. And this opponent makes a pretty big mistake here, in my opinion. They just go straight for a Mud Bomb, which maybe they were just expecting me to panic and shield. But I was counting. I knew that was not a Blizzard. And we can still take another Mud Bomb. So the opponent, despite landing that Mud Bomb, is still going to have to Blizzard me if they want to get rid of me. And what you're going to see is, again, they're just going to go straight for a Mud Bomb. And this is just not the play. You just have to always build up to the nuke to at least force me to shield if I am expecting the nuke, because I'm still not even sure if a Mud Bomb would have KO'd there. So we do farm down, we do maintain alignment, and we come out of this matchup with 2 foul plays loaded. So this Registeel is going to get some chip damage on it before the Nidoking has to come back in. And that is very nice because we're not running Earth Power, so all we can really do is just double kick and Sand Tomb the heck out of them. So they do farm me down, but again, the Nidoking fully walls all their charge moves, and they have a defense Deoxys in the back, so we're going to go straight for the Sludge Wave here, and we land it, and now Honchkrow really doesn't have to do that much. except for get this thing low. And just, so basically all I have to do with the Honchkrow here is just do enough snarl damage to them so where I can double kick them down with the Nidoking. But what you're going to see is the opponent, I think, makes another misplay here. They're committing shields on their Deoxys, and I catch them in a CMP tie on the second Sky Attack. So at this point, we can just let the Honchkrow down. We get both shields from them, and now the Nidoking can very comfortably clutch out this endgame. And for some reason, they only go for the Psycho Boost as well, so we fully farm them down. And I think we will even make a Sky Attack on the Registeel here. Yeah, Honchkrow putting in so much work in the endgame. The Honchkrow really didn't even need to put in that much work, but it does anyway. And that is going to be a GG. We can very comfortably tank this. Even if it was a Flash Cannon, I think we still live it. So we no-shield it, and that is a GG. So yeah, sorry guys, I'm really struggling today. And not only that, but there's some like fires or something in Michigan. So all this smog is just like rolling in from the north, and the air is just horrible quality right now outside, so I'm getting wrecked even more than normal. This battle I left in because this opponent is an absolute Spice Lord. They were running a Shadow Galv on the lead, and they bring in a Shadow Sableye, and unfortunately, the Shadow Sableye has Power Gem, which does a lot of damage on the Mandibuzz. And I throw right away here because I was worried. I think if I overfarmed there, they would have gone for the foul play, and they probably could have then farmed me down with Shadow Claw. So I don't come out of there with too much energy, but I do manage to get a foul play off on this Galv, and the Galv is going to shield this. And what you're going to see is, despite the fact that we're double resisting these electric moves, the lunge here still does nearly half of our health, and that puts us into a range where we kind of have to respect another one, because we cannot let our Honchkrow see this thing whatsoever. So unfortunately here, I am going to have to go for the Sludge Wave again to KO them, which is a ton of energy. And Honchkrow in even shields is just so bad because they have a Shadow Zarden back. And look at the wing attack damage, guys. We're almost at half health just from like 5 or 6 wing attacks. Look at our health right now. We're at half health. They haven't even thrown a charge move yet. So at this point, I know I just have to let this go, because if I shield that, they probably just wing attack me down before I even make another move. That is just how glassy Honchkrow is. And unfortunately, again, Nidoking just needs some better charge moves, because if we had a lower energy move like Sludge Bomb, we would have won that battle, but we cannot make the Sludge Wave. Shadow Zard takes us out, and mad respect to the opponent there. Very cool triple Shadow team. So next battle, I left this one in just for fun, because the opponent has a Shadow A-Slash on the lead. They see the double kick damage, and they just are like, heck no, I'm out of here. And they just top left. So if they commit shields to that A-Slash, their A-Slash probably could just sweep my backline, but yeah, for some reason they surrender. And next battle, another Medicham lead. Again, this time the opponent is not going to build up to the Psychic. Again, I was going to say I was going to try to catch the Psychic on the Mandibuzz, but this time they don't even build up to the Psychic. They just go straight for the Ice Punch, so I know I can take that. I take that move, and I do try to catch the second Ice Punch on the Mandibuzz here, but the opponent does hang on to their energy, but they still end up throwing it anyway, so that's totally fine. We lure out a Raichu here, not even an Alolan Raichu, just a regular Raichu here, and I believe this is probably just going to be a Thunder Punch, so I do let it go, and I am at the back-to-back foul plays, but unfortunately I was over-farming a lot there to throw on proper timing, and that ends up basically only allowing me to get to one charge move, so probably a bit of a misplay on my part, but I do get a shield at the very least, and we still do have quite a bit of health and energy on this Nidoking. Not that much health, but when they're running Volt Switch, they're not going to be able to farm us down with Volt Switch, so this is enough health to prevent the farm down. And they do shield the first Sand Tomb as well, which is definitely a mistake, because the second Sand Tomb is now going to do so much damage. And they are forced to throw again. And now, or not, I keep wanting to say Shadow Honchkrow, but it's not a Shadow Honchkrow. Regular Honchkrow now has a 2-0 shield advantage, and we are unfortunately going to have to use one of those shields on that Thunder Punch, but the Medicham coming back in here is not going to appreciate this Sky Attack. Sky Attack is definitely going to be one-shotting them, and we have a shield advantage and a decent amount of health in back, and they have a Whiscash, but unfortunately, it's a Water Gun Whiscash. I was just like, literally, like, pounding my head. I was like, no, you've got to be kidding me, because the Water Guns here are doing so much damage to us, and as you're going to see, Brave Bird is just barely not going to KO. They live on 1 HP, and because the algorithm there gave me a Water Gun Whiscash, we do end up losing that battle, so I was so frustrated in Lifetime with that battle. I did keep it in there just because We still land the Brave Bird on the Whiscash, and it does a ton of damage, but unfortunately, Water Gun Whiscash says no to the Honchkrow. So next battle, we have a Knockdown lead. Knockdown, really not great for Nidoking. At the very least, we are running the Sludge Wave. I wanted to land the Sludge Wave onto it, so I do stay in and throw the Sludge Wave. I knew they were probably going to let that go, because really, who's out there running Nidoking in the first place, let alone Nidoking with Sludge Wave? So we switch into the Mandibuzz here. We do lure out a double, and the opponent is farming up a ton of energy, so I am fully expecting this double to be running Wild Charge. So I do actually let them throw first, because I want to make sure I get a shield with this next foul play. Because after they debuff their attack here, or their defense, excuse me, this foul play would be KOing them. And I do force a shield off of them. And unfortunately, I just barely do not make another move. And I think at this point, yeah, at this point, this might be a mistake, but I just decided to save shields for Honchkrow. But what you're going to see is Honchkrow, look at how much damage the double kicks do. And then they bring in an Obstagoon, and those counters are just completely shredding me. And this is just why Honchkrow needs to have shields down, because the opponent still has a shield in play. What you're going to see is a Brave Bird is still going to one-shot this Obstagoon from nearly full health. We one-shot the Obstagoon, but now we've debuffed our attack, or our defense. Sorry guys, commentary is just really rough in this video. I debuffed my defense, and now I'm just going to get farmed down all the way by the double. As you see there, I just stopped attacking. Yeah, we get farmed down by two pseudo fighters in the back. So yeah, Honchkrow really just needs to have all shields down to have any chance whatsoever of succeeding. And we take the L. But this game, I believe this is the last battle, and I did save one of the best battles for last. The last battle, as you saw there, we do lose that one, but this one is going to be a crazy, crazy win. We do have a Pelipper on the lead, and I did catch the Weather Ball into the Mandibuzz. And this is very nice because we can still tank a Hurricane on the Mandibuzz here. So we tanked the Hurricane, and we did get a shield from them as well. And when you shield the Mandibuzz, that tells me you must be very, very weak to the Honchkrow in the back. So I'm fully just going to stay in here, let them take me out, and just save my shield for the Honchkrow, as you guys have seen. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but my only goal really with this team was just to land as many Brave Birds as possible. So what I decided to do here is very risky. I was hoping I could come in here and farm them down and only have to commit one shield, but as you're going to see, I just barely miscalculate. They do barely make it to another Weather Ball. And unfortunately, I am going to have to commit my second shield, but my Honchkrow is going to come out of this matchup with 100 energy, and the opponent brings in a Talonflame. I do throw on alignment there. The Incinerate does go through, but I was at 100 energy, so no reason not to, really. And they do shield the Sky Attack, and now Brave Bird is going to one-shot this Talonflame from full health, and they have a Venusaur in the back, and they were absolutely going to get Sludge Wave to the face, but they concede the match instead. So very well played in that battle. And that was the last battle of the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for my commentary today. I'm just really not feeling great. The environment is just making sure that I cannot breathe through my nose whatsoever. So anyway, thank you guys for bearing with me. Thank you for watching the video. If you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. The support I've been getting recently has been absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you for all the comments and the likes, and yeah, it's just been a lot of fun making videos lately, so make sure you do like it if you have not done so yet. And that being said, please do consider subscribing if you have not done so, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.